oddly shaped too.
I love them.
I know, I like them too. I just wish they were a little more intuitive.
They were perfectly normal clothing for the ladies.
I mean,
It
right.
just hasn't been updated since. It says something about the education of the family.
Can you imagine wearing these every day?
It's so much different down there. Other than that, I mean, like, you never think about what you are. Why should you wear bigger t-shirts or long t-shirts?
That's true, that's true. Yeah, maybe.
I think sometimes this is a two-person job.
Thanks, Anne. Thank you. Here, let me check yours.
Yes. I have a
family, friends, faculty, and graduates. Welcome to the commencement exercises for the class of 2017. This is the 130th distribution of special awards and diplomas in the history of Convent High School, Schools of the Sacred Heart, San Francisco. I'd like to welcome Miss Julia Arce, English faculty, to deliver today's invocation. Miss Arce.
The invocation is inspired by San Francisco Poet Laureate Lawrence Ferlinghetti's poem, I Am Waiting. Holy Spirit, wisdom of wonder, we invoke you now into our own expectant breathing, our joyful beat at journey's ending, to still us, to mark this sending, in which we are waiting. We are waiting for our names to be called, and we are waiting for a rebirth of wonder. We are waiting for someone to really discover the new world and weep. And we are waiting for the methods of a new Copernican revolution to naturalize the earth. And we are waiting for the birth of a new set of twins, you and I. We are waiting for the Constitution to really form a more perfect union and swaddle in her arms tranquility. And we are waiting for the stillborn Statue of Liberty to melt and resolve herself into a morning dew. And we are waiting. And we are all waiting for a wall to be built which will only open with tropical keys. And we are waiting for Our Lady of Guadalupe to appear on Wall Street, trading roses for reparations in a new rebirth of wonder. Wondrous Holy Spirit, as you continue to create these graduates, so create us, as courageous as the direction which we are impelled to take into deeper adulthood, into compassionate communities of service, into the courage to hold together contradictions, into the commitment to salvage the earth, into wise freedom and wise faith, and into children whose hearts will always be sacred. For a rebirth of wonder, we are waiting. We are graduating. The rhythm of waves against our clay. Amen.
This year's graduation speaker is Mrs. Marissa Orso, science faculty member at Convent and Stewart Hall for the past 17 years. A junior of high school living in Brazil at the ocean's edge inspired Miss Orso's academic journey, and she received her bachelor's in science with honors in oceanography and zoology at the University of British Columbia, and a master's in science and marine biology from San Francisco State University. Marissa began her teaching career at Foothill College in the Los Altos Hills and joined the convent community in 2000. Marissa is the proud parent of a convent alumna, Morgan, class of 2008, and she says she would never have sent her daughter anywhere else. With children all grown up and beyond college, she and her husband have decided to retire, setting up their dream farm in the green hills and valleys of Virginia, where Miss Orso will finally get to live out the concepts she has taught so long, including sustainable living, renewable energy, and farm-to-table eating. Please join me in welcoming Miss Orso to the podium.
Good afternoon, and welcome to all the families, friends, and loved ones here in support of our graduates today. And to our beloved class of 2017, it is a singular honor to be asked to speak to you today at your graduation. Beaches along the East Coast are gentle. Broad and sandy, they slowly slope down a shallow gradient before the continental shelf drops to any great depth. But here in California, your home, my adopted home, our beaches are different. Sandy ones exist, yet not the movie beaches of white sand and warm water. That is Florida. California beaches, more than not, are rocky and dramatic. When I moved to San Francisco, fresh after college, I was lucky enough to be able to take the slow way down Coastal Highway 1 and experience its entire length. Growing up in the Canadian province of Ontario, amid boreal forests and sparkling lakes, this was very different, and I marveled at the display of geologic power exhibited around every curve. Under our feet lies the San Andreas Fault, the boundary between two geologic plates in the crust of the Earth. The massive North American plate is sideswiped by the faster-moving Pacific plate directly adjacent. This is not a smooth motion. With edges as jagged as watch gears, the plates lock, struggle, release. Our fractured coastline, frequent earthquakes, and northern volcanoes are daily reminders of the power that lurks out of our control. Civilization exists at geologic consent. Given that the fault lies right out there, I see Californians, and San Francisco residents in particular, as geologically unfazed. We live our lives to the fullest, growing and thriving, even while well aware of the risk and uncertainty of the forces beneath our feet. We do not live with paralyzing indecision or fear of what might happen. When the destructive power is released, we ride out the jolts and sways, then rise up, assessing damage and mourning loss. And we rebuild quickly. It is in our nature to do so. And we learn and improve for the next time the ground heaves under our feet. I cannot help but draw a parallel between Californians living on an uncertain edge and today's graduates stepping into a world that is fractured into pieces that fit as uncomfortably together as the Earth's geologic plates. Today, there are figurative cracks beneath our feet, as well as the literal ones. I wish I could say that we are sending you off into a shiny, happy world, but that would not be true. We live in uncertain and disruptive political times, natural disasters intensifying in scale and scope, social disarray, a refugee and humanitarian crisis not seen in generations, the bewildering pace of technology and its intrusiveness into our lives, the massive uncertainty of legalized marijuana and the potential effect on our lives. The very nature of science and scientific data is under attack these days, with the systematic purging of government data banks that contain decades of data on such variables as sea level rise, polar ice thickness, levels of certain pollutants in the atmosphere and waterways, and many, many more. Such carelessness strikes fear into the very heart of the scientific community. Yet there is much good, despite the constant reports that all is bad. New medical advancements, recent elections in Europe, grassroots organizations growing in number and size, empowerment of women and minorities, a temporary end to drought here in California, and of course, our incomparable warriors. Go Dubs, go. And so, as you enter the first stage of your independent lives, rather than feeling shifting and uncertain ground under your feet, stand taller and stride forward, knowing what gifts and strengths you take with you today at your graduation. First, your own self. 4 years ago, and for 8 of you, 13 years ago, you entered through these big front doors, and later today, you will walk out them as a graduate and new alumna. Think of how you have grown since then, how you handled academic rigor and deadlines and the pressures of juggling too much in too little time. Through decisions made, both good and bad, opinions developed and defended, minds changed, choices made or not made, all have culminated in the creation of the unique and wonderful you. Perhaps fragile, perhaps robust, the framework of your core being has been set. Glory in who you are and what you are becoming. The transformation you made in high school, you will have another in college, and again in your career, and again as the head of your own family one day. We are all a work in progress, but you are well and truly begun. To the strength of your own person, add the sisterhood that surrounds you. What you have shared with the 51 girls seated beside you does not happen anywhere else. At any school, you could say you shared free periods, bus rides, and favorite classes with friends. But this group shares a common language of mysterious class names known only to them. Hislish and Get and Pep Up. I still don't know what that means. Lying on your backs all together on an outdoor basketball court late at night, looking up at the stars at Camp Newman, trekking through a muddy cow meadow at Bishop's Ranch. It might seem in today's world of instantaneous friends and vast social networks that these 51 girls might fade away as more friends get added during college and career. But hold your sisters tight. These are real friends, beyond just faces on a screen, that you have history with and can always fall back on. Among your sisters are artists and photographers, journalists and editors, stage managers, fencers, wrestlers, runners, swimmers, rowers, basketball, volleyball, and badminton players, singers, sailors, dancers, models, actors, volunteers, poets, writers, and equestrians. Such a depth and breadth of talent. You know who is who because you have cheered each other on at practices, games, matches, dress rehearsals, performances, putting the broad view to bed. You have ziplined through a jungle canopy and ridden the craziest horses side by side together in Costa Rica. And above all, you have held hands, sang, and danced for each other on the days that you were born. Hold your sisters close. And to that sisterhood, let's add your compatriots seniors at Stewart Hall. The core program in your freshman year was the introduction, and spending an entire week in the Costa Rican rainforest together as sophomores sealed the deal. At the co-ed senior retreat this past September, my favorite moment attesting to the bonds between you was when we all crammed in together, squishing on sofas and chairs and spilling over into comfortable heaps on the floor. In the dark, with piles of snacks all around, we watched The Breakfast Club, a movie that this child of the 80s holds dear. I was gratified when you laughed in all the same spots that my generation did 30 years ago. The gentlemen of the hall have sat with you at assemblies and shuttle rides and stood by your side on stage and field. They put tuxedos on to escort you to senior prom last Saturday night and arrived en masse in full dress uniform to shake your hand and honor you at your senior tea just the other day. I have to say, they clean up pretty well, don't they, ladies? You have brothers to go along with your sisters. You also have the gift of place. Humans feel most secure with a firm sense of place and belonging. Besides your family home and personal favorite locations to return to throughout the Bay Area, Convent girls have another home. A home of marble, high up on a hill with a commanding view of San Francisco. And somewhere in that marble place, you had a favorite spot where you chose to spend your free time. That particular math classroom and teacher where you would spend all your lunch and all your free periods. Perhaps a new nook or cranny discovered in the new spaces in our buildings. Or the art room where Ms. Mack awaits with advice and fresh ideas. Or the publications lab where Ms. Senna sits with green pen and endless guidance. This building, this chapel, this library, this space. While furnishings may come and go, this building has stood for over a century, and for over 70 years has rung daily with the sound of Sacred Heart voices of all ages. I hope you had a favorite corner or sculpture or painting or carved ceiling that called to you, where a glance each morning brought joy and familiarity. This place will always be here for you to return and once again drink in the beauty and solidity of such a home. Now add the strength of your mind. You have taken math classes that have taught you how to think analytically. History classes have taught you to think objectively. English classes have taught you to think critically. Theology classes to think reflectively. And you have had science classes that have challenged you to think inquiringly. Through field trips and museum visits, labs and formulas, first drafts and endless edits, with the use of graphing calculators and a thesaurus, you have navigated your way through a challenging 4-year curriculum and also dissected unspeakable things in the biology lab. With all that said, now just pick something to study in college. Not an easy thing to do. Yet the best is still in front of you. College beckons with a glittering array of choices in what to see and hear and do. And best of all, this time around, you get to choose. Give new things a try. Choose one class every now and then that is not part of your degree track, but just because you want to. Along with a solid academic foundation, your years at CSH have been imbued with spiritual growth. Sacred Heart goals such as a social awareness that impels to action and the building of community as a Christian value have become a lifestyle, not just phrases. Exposure to classes on oppression and justice have created strong feminists, and strong feminists are women of action. And this is where a convent girl stands apart. Your lens of the world includes action, not just words, helping, not just observing, changing, not just accepting. There are many worthy areas where you can strive for change in our world, politically, environmentally, economically, socially. Indeed, we count on you to strive for change in this world. I had hoped you noticed throughout your 4 years of observing the workings of our school that there are lessons to be learned beyond the academic. Seeing Mrs. Asdurian greet you each morning with a smile, the endless details efficiently and quietly dealt with by Mrs. Munda and Whalen, so your college application process could proceed most smoothly. The unseen hours of preparation and practice that Dr. B and Miss McMichael spend on musical performances. How PL is everywhere, doing everything without being asked. But I realized that you had noticed. I received 10 texts of support from my 10 pausees moments before undergoing a daunting medical procedure. And the eloquent tributes the faculty received from you yesterday at the appreciation lunch spoke not only of courses taught and funny classroom moments, but things of greater import. You spoke of values imparted and ideals encouraged. Thank you for absorbing our unspoken lessons. So whom do I see sitting here in this beautiful hall on this beautiful afternoon? Beautiful young women, inside and out, with courageous and generous souls and huge talent and exquisite uniqueness. Young women with the supports of their families, their friends, their Sacred Heart sisters and brothers, with strong academic backgrounds blended with spiritual depth and social justice. As you are poised at the edge, ready to venture forth, feel that strength and security that is at your back. Suddenly, that unsteady surface beneath our feet seems much more solid. And when, not if, the ground rocks and rolls, literally or figuratively, you can handle it. You are Californians, after all, and you are convent women, after all. You are a very unique class, the last to take Mrs. Sinti's chemistry class, the last to experience the convent junior rite of passage known as Dr. Steinbrecker's U.S. history, the final art history class taught by the incomparable Dr. Evers, and the last to take Mr. Sinti's legendary AP Bio class. He sends his regards, by the way, as this class was particularly important to him. Something about a cold river and a hailstorm in August? He also wanted to ensure that Gia was awarded the 4-year science prize. Teachers never forget their last class, so your group will live large in many teacher memories. And so, to the talented, distinguished, unique class of 2017, after geologic destruction, we rally, we learn, we improve. It is no different when the destruction is political or environmental. You are being asked to put your bright young minds to ways to bridge the widening social, cultural, economic, education, racial, and gender divides. No small task. Will the proliferation of digital communication improve or farther partition us? Will your generation be the one to break the stranglehold of fossil fuels on this planet? I read this somewhere. You can Google for an answer. You can Google for a mate. You can Google for a career. But you can't Google to find what's in your heart, the passion that lifts you skyward. Take inspiration from other strong female figures: Malala, Michelle Obama, Angela Merkel, Queen Bee, Julia Arce. Keep learning in the new world of learning. Give hockey a chance. It's a great game. Hug your parents. They have sacrificed to give you a Sacred Heart education. Call your grandmothers often if you are lucky enough to have them. Learn to cook well. This transcends merely feeding your family into truly loving them. Desire human connection. Do not be scared out of it. And remember something I said earlier. Teachers never forget their last class. Thank you.
Thank you, Miss Orso. I want you to know, I don't have it right here, it's over there. You have a graduation medal.
Oh, yay.
So you'll never forget either. You can wear it daily and feel its weight. The honor of valedictorian is bestowed on a student who has demonstrated consistent excellence over 4 academic years. This year, the faculty recognizes Isabella Coney and Catherine Newbold as valedictorians of the class of 2017, and I'd like to invite both of them to come forward to deliver their speech and accept their valedictorian medal. Thank you.
Good afternoon, Dr. Krejcarek, Board Chair Mrs. Parcella, Ms. Simpson, trustees, faculty members, family, friends, and of course, my fellow graduates. Many of the teachers and my classmates here today know that I tend to think in images, even every thought I attempt to fit in some sort of metaphor or imagery, and I'm sure that some of those familiar with this habit of mine could tell you right now that it doesn't always work out so well. Yet, this is what I see in front of me. Each individual here is a silhouette made out of pages. Every individual is comprised of sheets of paper. No one is comprised of all the same type of paper or handwriting. This is not just a phenomenon I see right now in this moment. I see it as I watch people get off and on the 24 Divisadero bus every morning. I see it as I walk down Fillmore Street to swimming practice. Everyone is this collection of pages, this collection of stories we gather from fiction, other people, or our own experiences. Our identities are heavily dependent on these stories we collect. They make us aware, introduce us to new things, and answer bigger questions. So our busy selves rush around picking up these tales, some fantastical and others more mundane. Some manage to stay in mint condition with scenarios as vivid in my mind as the day they happened. I remember clearly standing in a circle at freshman orientation next to 3 other Isabellas that made up our class then, cursing my parents for choosing one of the most common girls' baby name in the US in 1999. I remember rushing to open up the food locker during every passing period sophomore year, looking ridiculous as I did inventory of our class's personal stock of Capri Suns and cup of noodles. I remember walking into my Costa Rica room where girls, who would soon become my best friends, stood on top of beds, creating a snowstorm of paper with words that had sprouted from somewhere in their imagination. I remember, and it was mentioned before, so it must have been quite memorable, I remember my AP Bio class screaming bloody murder as we ran through the Yosemite forest, hail pelting our temperate, climate-conditioned bodies. Most meaningful to me at this moment right now, though, is the time at our senior retreat when I shared the following observation with my beautiful class. As I looked around at a circle of us, a circle of friends I love deeply, I realized that I knew the laugh of every girl in that circle. Like a recording in my head, I could play the sound of each one, only triggered with their name. Caroline seems to breathe in before she chuckles and then lets out even strokes of a joyful sound. Masha laughs silently and almost always ends up crying. Sarah's is a deeper laugh that seems to go perfectly with a head tilted upward. That piece of paper in my collection is pristine in condition, with this memory of 51 girls in a room lit with 51 candles, placed in a bright cluster in the center. Thoughts of gratitude and love enveloped us all as I went around the circle and played that soundtrack of giggles, chuckles, chortles, laughs, and cackles in my mind. The present is chaotic, always focused on the next move and step. What I've come to learn here is the power of self-reflection and the gratitude that comes with it. To look back on our experiences, flipping through those pages, those stories, is something Convent has taught me to do through self-evaluations and espacios and our community practice of gratitude at assemblies. A large majority of moments, I find myself on the U-shaped gray couch in the library in front of that view that all of us girls now know so well. The hustle and bustle of my day pauses, just a second, for me to realize how lucky I am. I reflect on the love that I've received here in this community, the love which I desperately try to give back every day. I reflect on what the experiences, like the ones I mentioned earlier, have taught me. My position between my fellow Isabella's freshman year demonstrates individuality, that with the same name, we all have grown up to conquer completely different things. The food locker story teaches of responsibility, as the memory of that blizzard of paper in a tropical paradise reminds me that being a paper-throwing goofball is sometimes completely okay. The real blizzard in Yosemite is an example to me of the power of teamwork, as I recall my class all huddled in the car, using each other to warm up afterward. This new, now completed chapter of stories at my time at Convent has an incredible amount of knowledge, of subject matter, and of love, and of life, that when given real thought to, just brings waves of gratitude, and with that, happiness. I'm still taking suggestions for the title of this chapter in my storybook, in my personal silhouette of paper. I want its title to be special and unique so that often I remember to pull it out and be grateful for the lessons and the experiences inside have taught me. It would only feel right to name it after the individuals who made this journey as special and influential as it was. So, if no one else has any further ideas, I plan to simply name it the Connie Gals. Thank you.
Good afternoon, Dr. Krejcarek, Board Chair Mrs. Parcella, Ms. Simpson, trustees, faculty members, family, friends, and fellow graduates. Standing here at the podium, looking like I'm about to get married, along with 50 of my classmates, I am honored to be joining the history of 129 graduated classes of empowered, intelligent ladies before us. The Flood Mansion has housed hundreds of dances and classes and has witnessed thousands of students walk through the front door as awkward freshmen and out its doors as elegant and refined young women, armed with the skills to conquer the real world. Today is a day of celebration. Today we are given the time to be thankful for the education we have been given and the community we are blessed to be a part of. One of the feelings we will often experience outside the marble walls of this building and may have already experienced inside it, is failure. Many people, when first confronted with failure, often feel aversion to the experience. No one likes to fail, but I believe it is crucial to our development as people. 2 years ago, Dr. Krejcarek stood in front of our school at the opening assembly and said something along the lines of, "I hope you all fail," to remind us that in order to succeed, we first needed to overcome the failures that any endeavor can bring. For example, Miss Denny and Mr. Stafford commandingly teach their classes that failures at the beginning of the semester only help students grow by the end. The first paper I turned in sophomore year in my history and English class was, to use their rubric terms, problematic. However, they continually reminded us all that shortcomings at the beginning would not affect our long-term grades, which allowed me to focus on individual skills that needed improvement. Other teachers have also adopted this grading mindset because here at school, we value the learning process instead of the individual value of one assignment. Personally, since I was 16, I've wanted nothing more than to have a driver's license. However, I stand in front of you today as a girl who failed the driver's test, not one, not two, but 3 times. The first time I failed the test, I was devastated because I had seen so many of my peers succeed easily on a task that gave me so much trouble. But I eventually realized that the multiple failures would make me a better driver in the future. And, if anyone was curious, I most recently passed my 4th test on Wednesday. I believe the ability to fail and then overcome in a supportive environment is something irreplaceable we have here at Convent. Convent teaches us that risk may lead to failure, but it also has the amazing potential to lead to growth. I have learned that failure is something we will all eventually meet, but it is something that in our time here we have learned we must push to conquer because the person we transform into at the end is far more important. My favorite quote of all time is one of Louisa May Alcott's that says, "I am not afraid of storms, for I am learning how to sail my ship." These words serve as a constant reminder that I am on my own journey, just as you are on yours, to becoming the person you are supposed to be. Though the seas may be rocky, we become better sailors because of it, and eventually learn to navigate under any circumstances. Graduates, as we move on to college and eventually into the professional world, I encourage you to remember that failure helps us develop as students and people because it teaches both resilience and forgiveness. There are many things that make me extremely proud to be a member of the class of 2017, but the one that stands out to me the most is our ability to persevere and our desire to fight for what we believe in. At Convent, I was taught to never back down from an opportunity to discuss gritty, multifaceted, and even taboo topics because the perspectives gained from discussion help us formulate our own opinions. Our teachers provided a platform for us to voice our thoughts, which was crucial to our development as socially aware women of the world. May we continue to fight for what is right now and in the future. Finally, beyond the developments that have helped each of us individually, I feel infinitely lucky to be a part of this graduating class, and I am continuously inspired by each of my classmates' poise, maturity, and accomplishments. It is not the institution at 2222 Broadway that has molded us into the young women you see today. It has been the people at Convent who encourage us to unapologetically pursue and improve, and for that, I will always be grateful. As we venture off to become scientists, journalists, business managers, artists, educators, and entrepreneurs, I sincerely hope that we find happiness in our work and our relationships, and as women, we always strive to push forward. May we never be afraid of advocating for ourselves and the people around us. May we use this amazing foundation to strive to always be our best selves and fearlessly step into the unknown because we are unafraid of the possibility of failure and instead look for opportunities for growth. Thank you.
In this 130th distribution of special awards and diplomas at Convent High School, the faculty confer 4-year prizes in recognition of students who have made an outstanding commitment and contribution to specific academic fields over their 4 years at the school. We gave these prizes yesterday at the Senior Prize Day, so for today, students, please stand to be recognized when your name is called. The 4-year prize in theology is awarded to Delaney Mosslander. The 4-year prize in science is awarded to Gia Monachino. The 4-year prize in history is awarded to Isabella Kearney. The 4-year prize in mathematics is awarded to Anna Kawas. The 4-year prize in English is awarded to Isabella Kearney. The 4-year prize in modern language is awarded to India Tiriat. The 4-year prize in classical language is awarded to Lisabel Panosian. The 4-year prize in visual arts is awarded to Isabella Southwick. The 4-year prize in performing arts is awarded to Lisabel Panosian. The 4-year prize in computer science is awarded to Catherine Newbold. And the 4-year prize in journalism is awarded to Julia Rose Kibben. Established in memory of Lenny Del Rosario, Convent High School class of 1980, the Maria Elena Yushchenko Award for Generous Service honors a student for her leadership, service, energy, and spirit. This year's recipient has been a tireless contributor to school life, in the classroom and outside it, as a member of the cross-country and track teams and as a student leader. This year's Maria Elena Yushchenko Award for Generous Service goes to Catherine Newbold. The Ursula Marston Award for Generous Service recognizes a student who is outstanding in her volunteer work and generosity. This year's recipient has been the face of Students in Action at Convent, encouraging the student body to show a social awareness that impels to action. This year's Ursula Marston Award for Generous Service goes to April Matsumoto. April is going to remain standing there, and you're going to see why in a minute. Next award. The Alumni Award for Generous Service is awarded to a student whom her classmates select as having demonstrated the most generous service to the convent community and to her classmates in the spirit of the Sacred Heart. In recognition of her contributions to her class and to the school, this year's Alumni Award for Generous Service goes to April Matsumoto. The Faculty Award The Faculty Award for Generous Service recognizes a student who has exemplified both generous service and the spirit of the Sacred Heart during all of her years at Convent. This year's recipient has been a constant support to faculty and students in myriad ways, as swim team captain, as captain of the admissions team, and as senior class president. Faculty Award for Generous Service goes to Isabella Kearney. The Goal 5 Award in honor and loving memory of Ari Riordan, Convent High School class of 2008, is rooted in the Sacred Heart goal to educate to personal growth in an atmosphere of wise freedom. The faculty recognizes a student who, through a profound and courageous commitment to her core person, has shown tremendous growth in confidence, grace, and wisdom during her years at Convent. This year's recipient has impressed her teachers with her consistency, her quiet grace, and the outstandingly confident contribution she has made to performing arts and theater. The Goal 5 Award in honor of Ari Riordan is Caroline Salveson. The President of Schools of the Sacred Heart, San Francisco, and the Chair of the Board of Trustees confer diplomas on the following: Alyssa Ileana Alvarez. Grace DeRosa Apple. Allison Sarita Aurora. Daphna Bendel. Hannah Bendel. Samrawit Gabrihewit Bayane. Claudia Keith Bouchard. Amelia Eve Bulevant. Anna Graciela Kawas. Sabrina K. Chafee. Charlotte Frances Cobb. Catherine Cara Stewart Dana. Georgia Kate Ellis. Logan Eliana Evans. Beatrice Lourdes G. Bettina Jeanette Gilio. Julia Karina Gutman. Paula Andrea Gutman. Sophia Katerina Lerotich Hettenkoffer. Olivia Grace Hokendijk. Sarah Jane Hong. In absentia, Kaylee Marie Hannibal. Isabella Ann Kearney. Lauren Susanna Key. Julia Rose Kibben. Masha Vadimovna Koslova. Sophia Lackman. Lillian June Lackman. Ives Long. Anna Paula Louis Grover. Mackenzie Nicole Malley. Kayla Mika Yan Yi Man. Maria Adele Machukete. April Chan Juan Matsumoto. Reese Metz. Gia Taylor Monachino. Delaney Elizabeth Mosslander. Schaefer Newbold. Denise Newman. Isabel Anahid Panosian. Isabella Christina Pontecorvo. Joanna Keano Okalani Saito. Rose Salveson. Maya Aviva Shur. Isabella Qualia Southwick. Alisa Turnick. India Louise Thiriot. Dorothea Ann Wetmore. Beatrice Dunn Williams. Maya Isabel Young. Chloe Christine Yu. This year, and this is a first in my history at the school, and that's 21 years, the class of 2017, the entire class, has spent many hours preparing a gift of song for this ceremony. And I think that speaks to their intense camaraderie and cor unum spirit. So it's my pleasure to invite the members of the class of 2017 to offer this musical tribute. I asked the graduates if they'd indulge me in a few closing remarks, but I've been rendered speechless by the beauty of that. Thank you. It is an honor to stand here and be able to offer a few words to the class of 2017 to end this commencement ceremony and to remind our graduates of the promise central to their time at Convent, that the intention of Sacred Heart education is to address the whole person. You come as you are, and you are cared for with great love. The hope is to implant in you a sacred love for yourself, to challenge you to be more honest, to lead you along the road of integrity. Graduates of the class of 2017, when you reflect on the love you have received during your school years, Dot asked me if I was going to cry. I guess I might. I'm going to do what the Queen does, which is apparently she blinks really fast and it goes away. Try that. It's true. I'd first like to acknowledge and highlight that special and unconditional love of your grandparents. Grandparents who are here today, please stand so that we may recognize you. I'm here to warn you, this might only get worse. And suddenly that Queen's trick is not working anymore. To the parents of the class of 2017, thank you for providing these young women with that ever-full oasis of parental support. Thank you for your partnership and the confidence you placed in this school, entrusting your daughters to our care and inviting us to become integral to their growth and development. Thank you for your belief in Convent's capacity to help your daughters grow in wisdom, age, and grace. Parents, please stand so that we may recognize you. To the faculty of the class of 2017, as we heard from the seniors at yesterday's faculty luncheon, you have challenged and taught these young women in a spirit of affection, with humor and with patience, believing in the unique value and promise of each young woman. Thank you for knowing that love is the root of all learning, and for inspiring each young woman to become who she is and where she is today. Faculty, please stand so that we may recognize you. I'm blinking again. Here we go. And to the class of 2017, this extraordinary group of young women. 4 years ago, you entered our halls, just beyond those awkward middle school years, full of nervous anticipation for what your high school years might bring. You arrived at different stages of growth and confidence, trusting in the school and your teachers to guide you on your journey. Today, you descended these familiar marble stairs, a journey you have made hundreds of times, but one you took on this day with a great sense of time and purpose. These stairs, this marble hall, pave a path to your future from a place you have called a second home. Your class has left a special mark on the school. In addition to your marked intellect and scholarship, you have embodied gratitude and generosity, embracing and leading our community in this spirit. I am confident that you will continue to embrace those you meet and all you encounter with your special brand of open-heartedness. As young women at this time in history, the school's foundress, Madeleine Sophie Barrett's rallying cry of courage and confidence continues to be a timely charge. And I have seen you answer this call in the classroom, at assemblies, and out in the world. As the intelligent, articulate women I know you well to be, I know that you will continue to express yourself with grace and conviction, summoning the confidence to say yes, and equally the courage to say no. As Dr. Great-Sarek mentioned in her address to you earlier this week, as graduates of the Sacred Heart, we hope that your education has lit a fire in you, inviting and sustaining a zeal for discovery and a passion for justice. As you make your final way down the aisle of this gracious marble hall, I hope that these well-known and well-loved words of Janet Stewart feel most true. You are on the path, exactly where you are meant to be right now. And from here, you can only go forward, shaping your life story into a magnificent tale of triumph, of healing, of courage, of beauty, of wisdom, of power, of dignity, of love. It is with immense pride and gratitude when I say, congratulations to the class of 2017.
I checked right